Hello Oracle World, this is Justin, and in this Oracle YouTube tutorial I'm going to show you how to restore an Oracle database using user-managed backups, okay, to a specific SCN, system change number. Every time you make a change to the Oracle database and you commit a change, okay, the information of that change is flushed from the redo log buffer in the SGA, in the memory of the instance, to the actual online redo log files. So it's a physical write from memory to disk. Okay? And that happens every time you do a commit. Okay? And when the database says that the commit is completed, it not only has flushed the changes from the redo log buffer to the online redo log files on disk, but it has also assigned that change a SCN number, which stands for system change number. Okay, and it's the Oracle database's way of telling time. It's the timekeeping mechanism of the database. Okay, and it's another way to restore an Oracle database by. Okay, so I'm going to show you a working example of what I mean. Okay, let's go ahead and let's set our Oracle SID to Finance, and let's ensure that it's set properly. And let's log in with SQL Plus, and let's ensure that we are connected to the right database, Finance. Okay, take a look at the table spaces defined to this database. Select table space name from DBA table spaces. And you got your usual stuff. And you also have a table space called app. Select file name from DBA data files where table space name is equal to app. And we see that there's 3 data files associated with this table space. Okay, let's go ahead and let's create a hot backup of the database. What we're going to do is we're going to back it up to a directory we already created called backup. Now, remember, there was a video, I have a video out on YouTube which shows you how to do a hot backup of an Oracle database. I would refer to that video, okay, if you're not familiar with how to do it. I explain the basics of it in that video. Alright, so we have a directory called c:/backup where we're going to back up our Oracle database files hot to, okay? And if we do a select asterisk from $backup, we see that we're currently not in backup mode, okay? But our database is in archive log mode, so we're ready to go there. So go ahead and do the following to perform a hot backup. Perform an archive log switch with alter system archive log current. Now let's go ahead and let's put the database into backup mode. Alter database begin backup. Let's ensure that we are in backup mode. Select asterisk from $backup. So it's active. We're in backup mode. So it went from not active to active. So we're in backup mode. All have the same change number. Now let's go ahead and let's make a backup of the only thing we need to make a backup of with a hot backup scenario, which are our DBF files. So copy everything that ends with DBF to directory backup. And I'm going to pause the YouTube video to save YouTube video time while that's backing up. Okay, all of our DBF files are backed up. So now what we can do is we can log back into our Oracle database, and let's take our database out of backup mode. So alter database end backup, and let's look at our status of our data files, and they're all not active. Okay, so all of our data files are not in backup mode anymore. So you do another log switch to capture all the changes that have happened during while they're in backup mode. So alter system archive log current, which will cut another archive log for you. And now let's back up the control file. Alter database backup control file to c:/backup control BKP, we'll call it. Okay, so we have a backup of our Oracle database. Okay, so now what we want to do is, we want to go ahead and, so now we're going to create a scenario. Okay, well, let's just create the scenario here. Select name from the database. We're connected to the finance database in SQL+, and there are also Java applications from around the world connected to this as well. Okay, and we took a backup, and we just took a hot backup of our database, and archive logs are switching on their own, and the database is doing its normal thing and is healthy. It's just running along. And let's say that at some point someone drops the app tablespace. So select tablespace name from DBA tablespaces where tablespace name is equal to app. And let's say someone accidentally drops it. They do drop tablespace app including contents and data files. So drop tablespace app including contents and data files. So we just drop the app tablespace, which deletes it. Drop is the verb that deletes with the Oracle CLI. And we do select tablespace name from DBA tablespaces where tablespace name equals app, and we get no rows selected because we just dropped that tablespace. But things are continuing to happen, and archive logs are continuing to be switched. So we do alter system, archive log current, and we switch it a few more times. 3 times. Okay? And in case you guys don't notice, slash executes the last command, the very last command in the SQL plus buffer, command buffer. So it's an easy way to recall past commands. Okay. So we switched through, so we dropped our tablespace and we switched 3 times. Now you as the DBA logs in. Now let's say that a user calls and says, my Java application, when I try to pull up a customer called. So you as a DBA would get this phone call. Someone calls and says, "Hey Justin, the customer called and they wanted me to look up how much they paid on their water bill last month." So I pulled up the Java app and I typed in their account number and I hit search for bill criteria. And it came back and said that data not available in Oracle database, so whatever that application is programmed to say when it encounters the error. So I know that not only is that data kept in the finance database, but it's also kept in the tablespace app. So I log in and I go to that database and I go select tablespace name from DBA tablespaces where tablespace name is equal to app. Says no rows selected. I'm like, what the heck? What's going on here? Okay, so I have some choices here. So it looks like someone has dropped it. That's the only explanation of why it's missing. Okay, you double check that you're logged into the right database because now you think you're losing your mind. Finance. So you know you're logged into the right database. You're like, okay, so what the heck is going on here? Okay, now what we can do is we can go ahead and we can shut down our database with an abort option because we're going to restore, so the assumption is this database is useless. And we just delete everything in our Oracle database directory, and we copy our backup from back from C:\backup to this directory. And I'm going to pause the video while that occurs. Okay, the restore has completed, and we have all of our DBFs back. Now I'm going to copy back my control file backup, which, oh that's right, I did a copy of everything, so the control file backup is there. So I moved the control file backup to the names that the Oracle parameter file is expecting. Let's make it capitalized. And again, if you don't know what I'm doing here, please refer to the how to perform a hot backup on Oracle database tutorial. Oops. Alright. And And so now that we have our control files back to where Oracle expects them, and we restored our hot backup that we took earlier, all of our DBFs, okay, now the next job is to take a look at, and then you may have to restore to archive logs dependent. We didn't have to in this environment, but sometimes you will. And we take a look at our archive logs here. I should have cleaned these out here. But let's see here. The 7th, that's what today's date is. I should have cleaned these out. Let me see here. The 7th. Up here it is. So the last archive log on the 7th that was cut was 6. Sequence number 6. And we look down here and we don't see any more 7s. I can't believe I didn't clear those out. And that appeared to be the latest time that we have. Let me look again. Seven 2, 7 3, 7 4, 7 5, and 7 7 6. And any more 7s? There's a 6 7. Nope. Okay. So our latest archive log is sequence number 6. Okay. So we log into SQL Plus. We do startup mount. We type in recover database until cancel using backup control file. And we apply archive log sequence 3 by hitting enter, sequence 4 by hitting enter, sequence 5 by hitting enter, and sequence 6 by hitting enter. And we hit cancel because there's no 7. And we type in alter database open, and we reset the logs. Okay, now we do select name from $$ database, and we do select table space name from DBA table spaces. Oh, the app table space is still not here. But you're thinking to yourself, wait a minute, I backed up the database prior to the DBA dropping that table space. So, and I just successfully recovered that hot backup. And I knew I successfully recovered it because I was able to open the database after the recovery. Why am I not seeing that table space? Because the archive log switches that happen after that log also contain the drop change. Okay? And you're going to, and since you applied all the changes that including sequence 6 in this example, and let's say it was dropped at sequence number, a few sequence numbers back, okay? It's because you told it to apply through archive log 6, you kept hitting enter, it's going to return the database to a state of how it looked when the archive log was switched and it was number 6. The 6th, where it switched, where the database switched from number 5 sequence number log to number 6. Okay, so how the database looked after it switched from 5 to 6 is that point in time is how your database is going to look if you apply all the logs through 6. Okay, and at that point, when 6 was cut, the table space was gone. So you're right back to where you started. The restore was useless. So what do you have to do? You have to find out, okay, when the table space was dropped. That's the first thing you need to find out. And lucky for you, drop table space command are one of the events, database events, which are logged in the alert log. And the alert log is a log for each database instance in the Oracle that the Oracle software writes to that records imperative events and structural change events to the database. And I would consider dropping a table space to be a structural change of the database. So let's go to our Oracle Home. Oracle app, let's go to diag, let's go to RDBMS, let's go to finance, let's go to finance again, let's go to trace, and let's, with the edit utility, open a file called alert underscore finance.log, just like so. Pretty big, so it takes a second. And let's search for the string drop table space app. There it is. And it occurred at 21:16. Oops, I guess I did it a few times. Find last find, F3. Okay. So F3 again. Nope. We're looking for the one I did on the 7th. Up, here it is. Drop table space app, including contents and data files, July 7th at 10:52 p.m. Okay, and we will see that now what you need to do is you need to go to the redo log switch that was done right before this drop table space command occurred. Okay, and this was done up here at 22:51. Okay, so we're going to take the database back to before the drop table space command occurred, which is right here. Okay, and we see that it's sequence number 4. So we know that it's sequence number 4. Okay, is where we need to recover through. Okay, so what we need to do now is, so as you can guess here, all changes to a database are kept between, is one atomic change, right? So every time you do a log switch, or the database does one by itself, when it becomes a busy database, ours is not, it's just a test database. And you don't have to switch, because usually, like we've been doing manually, because usually it does it for you. Okay? That all changes between switches are kept within those changes. We're kept within that one log. Okay? So, we know that sequence number 4. And remember, we're restoring up to a certain SCN number. So, what we can do is we can log on our database and we can type in the following: select sequence number and first change number from $log history, where sequence number is equal to 4. And remember, Oracle Database keeps in its data dictionary the metadata, the information about itself, including the log history, all the switch histories. And we see that a sequence number 4, which means redo log number 4, was what, and we determined by looking at the alert log that the database switched from created archive log sequence 4, it switched from 3 to 4 right prior to the table space being dropped. So we know that we want to recover through 4. So at this point, you could just go ahead and recover the database through 4, and you should be good. But there are times where you'll only know the change number. Okay, and this is how you would do it per change. And the change number here is 586925. And remember, every time you commit a database change, okay, this number increments. And remember, it's not always going to increment every time you change. The database is constantly busy and doing stuff behind the covers. Okay. So I'm going to take this number, I'm going to put it in my clipboard memory here. And now I'm going to go ahead and shut down, abort my instance. Oops. Database instance creates a lot of log files during its lifetime, as you can see. Let's pause the video out. Oh, it's done. Okay, good. Okay, and we're going to move the C:database or data finance. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove everything like we did before, and we're going to do the recovery again. and we're going to restore everything from backup. And again, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video while it does that. Okay, restore the date of all the files are done. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make my control file the way it should be. Okay, now I'm going to log into my instance with SQL+. Same procedure as before, it's about to change though. And I'm going to start up my instance and stop at the mount stage after it mounts my backup control file. And now, instead of just doing a recovery where I apply all the archive logs, I'm going to tell the database to stop at this change number. And I know that by looking in the alert log, I know that this change number was generated. It occurred prior to the table space app being dropped. So to do that, we type in recover database until change. Remember, before it was until cancel. Now it's until change, and we go ahead and we type in our change number 586925 using backup control file. So we say recover database until change 586925, the change number that occurred prior to dropping a table space, using backup control file. Hit enter there. We hit enter. It's going to apply 3. It's going to say done. Now what we can do, so now notice how it didn't ask you for anything else, because that's all it needed to get to that change number. Okay? So, and as you can see, it says 867 generated. Right. 867. Yep, it can't go above that number, 925, so it had to stop at 867. Okay, so now that that's, and I didn't type in cancel here, it did it automatically because it knew what I was looking for, so it knew where to stop. So alter database, open, reset logs. So our recovery is done. We open up our database, resetting the logs. Select name from the $database. See I'm connected to the right database. And we check out our table space names. Oh, and look at this. The app table space is back again. Oh, sorry. So the app table space exists. And select file name from DBA data files where table space name is equal to app. There it is. Okay, so now we call our user back and we say, okay, I've restored the app data. The only problem is you're going to lose any data that you wrote prior to, that you made, any changes you made to the database prior to it dropping. And my investigation shows that it dropped at this time. So, but you have your app data back. And so users may only care about that. Okay, so that's how you do it. SCN-based point-in-time recovery. Okay. And there are other ways to do it. There's a thing called flashback and other features, and I'll get into those with other videos. But this is the traditional, basic way of doing it, of recovering through using an SCN number. Okay, thank you.